What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday and welcome in to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS preview show. I am your host, James Grande. I am joined by my esteemed colleague, Keith Eister. Keith, what's going on, brother? Happy Wednesday. Well, possibly happy Wednesday, depending on the outcome of Tuesday, as we record here Tuesday evening. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, waiting on these Cubs bats to come alive. We got one lefty homer, but that has been about it through 6 innings now, 7 innings, something like that. But
There's 6.
Cubs are running out of time. We need some runs from the Cubs. Schwellenbach didn't get his strikeouts. I don't know what's going on. The swinging strikes are there, but the actual strikeouts have not. So Wednesday's slate looking a little iffy at the moment. We need some big things from the Dodgers later. We'll see how we end up. But on to Wednesday.
Yeah. And on to Wednesday we go. There are some pitchers at some price tags I never thought I'd ever see in the year 2025, and we'll get to that in a second.
I know who you're talking about.
There's two right off the bat that I just can't believe we're here, but we are. And before we get into that, thank you guys for all your support. If you guys are new, we do this Monday through Friday every evening, and then we'll come back 5 p.m. Eastern Standard to break down the main slate, which again, we're breaking down here. There's an early slate. And if you want to if you have any questions or anything, you can come into the Fantasy Alarm Discord and get your questions answered there. Let's get into things. We're going to go position by position per usual. Starting us off at pitcher, Yoshinobu Yamamoto coming off his worst start this year by far. That was a very uncharacteristic start for Yamamoto, especially, coming off basically every other start he's made this year where he's been dynamite. That's one of 3 pitchers over 9K on DraftKings. Chris Bassett is the other one. And then Clay Holmes, former relief pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Yankees acquired him from the Pirates years back. Turns starting pitcher, and boy, oh boy, Clay Holmes has been awesome as a starting pitcher. I never thought I'd see the day, but we are here. What do you like in this top tier, Keith, between Yamamoto, Bassett, and Holmes?
Yeah, Yamamoto is the most expensive by a good margin. He's the only one over 10K, and he has a tough matchup. The Athletics have been really good on offense. They hit with power, and they don't strike out hardly at all. I was just looking it up. They're 4th lowest in strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. I don't know if he pays off this price tag. He certainly can. He's a very talented pitcher, obviously, and generates strikeouts at an incredibly high rate. But I don't love this matchup for him when I have to pay over 10K. Honestly, It's Clay Holmes for me because he gets the Pirates, who are not good at hitting the baseball. I would rather save 1,500 and go down to Clay Holmes, I think.
Coming into the year, did you think that we would get this version of Clay Holmes as a starter?
So it's the length that surprised me the most. The strikeouts I figured would hang on.
Yeah.
But I figured 4, especially for the first month or 2 of the season, he's going to work 4 or 5 innings to start. That hasn't been the case. He's working 6 innings, pitch count solidly in the 90s. He's a legit starting pitcher. I don't know. I think that teams have to look at this and consider converting more relievers back into starters when they've been a dominant bullpen arm for multiple seasons.
Yeah, there's actually, I heard a few rumors about the Yankees doing that with Luke Weaver as well, because Weaver is still not over being a starter. And I get give them the crack at it, right? And if it doesn't work, I don't know if you saw the Michael King clip where he was like, make me a starter. You're not going to get Juan Soto if you don't. And the rest is history, right? It's look at Michael King, some of these, and Clay Holmes is honestly he always did have what you wanted as a starter. Strikeout. He does have swing and miss stuff, and he generates a lot of ground balls. It's just when the slider wasn't sliding, it stays in the middle of the plate, and he was giving up a lot of home runs. That's why you saw him lead the league in blown saves last year. But he's been great, undeniably been great. Salute to Clay Holmes for just doing whatever he's doing to become a legit starter. And I agree. I am very high on Yamamoto, the pitcher. And I do think that there is like significant strikeout upside. We've seen this guy already touch double digits twice this year, 9+ and three times. And so obviously like pretty wide discrepancy, and there's a wide range of outcomes for strikeouts. But there's a lot to like about Yamamoto pitching in his home ballpark. So that would be my only, like, if you need the salary because you want to get to insert whatever team you want to get to because of bats, then do it. But I do think that I do have interest in Yamamoto, spending up to Yamamoto.
Yeah, I certainly have interest as well. His strikeout rate on the season is 30%, where Clay Holmes is 27% or something like that. So there is a discrepancy there. It's just the matchup makes the salary 25% for 24.7% for Clay Holmes. So there's a wide gap in their like actual strikeout ability, but the strikeout matchup is much better for Clay Holmes. So that brings them a little closer together. I do agree that Yamamoto has more upside despite the matchup, because if he's on, he's just unhittable. Like,
yeah,
when that curveball is going, he can strike anyone out.
Yeah, I mean, he's been as I looks like I'm in a nightclub. My light is currently flashing. I don't know if you can see this, but I feel like my eyes are gonna
Got the strobe going up there.
Yeah, I mean, I not intentionally, I promise you. Let's let there be light. And hopefully that lights up the Cubs offense too, because boy, oh boy, they need it. Let's go shift our attention down the list a little bit. The name that I was alluding to earlier is in this tier. One of them is whatever. We'll get to in a second. Nick Lodolo, 8,700. This is it's a weird spot because the ballpark sucks. The matchup is great. The pitcher is
Who is
fine.
this pitcher? Like,
the pitcher
that's my concern.
Yeah, I don't know what the pitcher is. The pitcher has been incredibly inconsistent with a really high ceiling and a really low floor.
Yeah, he's been incredibly lucky. I'll say the word.
Yes.
Like, his BABIP is 255. The strikeouts are way down as well. Like, Lodolo is a guy who's been up in the upper 20s in strikeout rate his first couple seasons in the majors. He's down under 20% this season.
Right.
Like, the command has improved. He's got a 3.6% walk rate. You like to see that. He's still above average on the ground balls. That's good. But where did the strikeouts go is my concern. Yeah. I don't know. Like, the matchup against the White Sox makes him playable.
Right.
I don't know that he is going to continue the success that he has had. Just looking at his estimators here, xERA is 368, xFIP 404. So like a little bit worse than what his ERA is, but not as much as I figured it would be.
Yeah, and he has not a limited sample at home, but he has just gotten absolutely torched at home. But that is a ballpark in which you can't make mistakes in. Like, you can't pitch poorly. Maybe he can to the White Sox. It's possible. But it's a very interesting play, because I'd love to see, before fully commenting on Lodolo, and we'll comment on Lodolo on the 5 p.m. Live stream. I'd love to see the ownership, because without seeing the ownership, like if Nick Lodolo, that's just for argument's sake, comes in as the highest rostered pitcher of the day, that is concerning for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What about I guess the rest of the tier the rest of this range is where we can get into. Jameson Taillon had been really good leading into that Mets start, and he is a fly ball pitcher that gave up a lot of home runs to a good offense. But he has been, since the first start of the year, I mean, he's been beaten by the Mets and the Diamondbacks. Those are like two of the better offenses in baseball. The Marlins are not that. Then you have
yeah, that guy against
$8,300. Never would I ever projected him to just suddenly be the best pitcher of baseball after getting bit by a spider. But since his spider bite, he's like hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in a start. You have Lorenzen at 82, who probably the worst case scenario for him because how reverse splits he is, and the Astros don't have any lefties in their lineup. So this is a terrible spot for him. And then you have Gunnar Hoglund, 8K, who has actually he pitched pretty well in that Seattle game after a good Miami start, but has to face the Dodgers. Do we like anything in the 8K tier? It's probably Tyone, if anything.
Yeah, it's Tyon. None of these guys are good strikeout pitchers, which is my problem when spending over 8K. Like, you got to get me at least a 20% strikeout rate.
Right.
None of these guys are there.
Yeah.
Tyon with the matchup is my favorite. I think he's the safest and has the most upside too. So that's my answer. Patrick Corbin is an interesting case. He has been actually okay this season.
I know.
Good for him, because the last 3 or 4 years, it was just anytime Patrick Corbin is starting, you stack the offense against him.
It was a holiday, dude. We were celebrating. We were celebrating every 5th day. We were deeming it a holiday.
Yeah, looking at the stuff underneath, like, I'm not sure exactly how he's doing. He's not missing bats. The strikeout rate is under 15%. The walk rate is up to 9%. So his skills are worse than they were last season. His ground ball rate is down. I don't know how he's having this success. It's the Rockies, though, is the other piece of this equation, who have been historically bad, especially against left-handed pitching. 60 weighted runs created plus, 274 WOBA.
60. The number 60.
Yeah, 60. That's 40% below league average for anyone that is unfamiliar with the WRC plus statistic. And the second highest strikeout rate in baseball against lefties, 28% strikeouts. So I'm tempted to say the price is justified. That doesn't mean I want to play him. But, man, the Rockies are horrible. I would play Tyon unless Tyon is 30% owned and Corbin is 5%. I would play Tyon 10 times out of 10. I think.
I agree. I just wish this price was different.
Yes,
the 8,300
is 7K. I would have legitimate interest in this spot.
Agreed. Because we'll drop down into that 7K range. I think a lot of these pitchers kind of look like him, like Pepio. Super inconsistent. The strikeouts with Pepio have always been inconsistent, where he has, like, sometimes you look, you're like, wow, that dude is nasty, and then the next start, you're like, he's just generating a bunch of outs, fly balls, and ground. Like, does have strikeout upside. Also looks like a 0 sometimes in strikeouts. I remember last year he had like 7 innings, no strikeouts, and then he followed up with like 10 strikeouts the next game. I'm like, dude, this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personified. But Toronto, really bad numbers against right-handed pitching this year. We have Bryce Elder coming off really good start. Kind of has been good in general lately, fighting for his job. Especially with Strider on the precipice of coming back. Who's going to get sent down between Elder and Ass? Like, I don't know. It's one of those two making way for Strider. So Elder at 75. Mitchell Parker knew the blow-up was coming after like his start to the year. The Perfil numbers looked horrible. They haven't gotten. They've obviously come to light. Do we like anything down here? We have Colton Gordon making his debut. Colton Gordon looks like he's 40 years old. How old is Colton Gordon?
I was digging in on him a little bit pre-show. He is 26 years old.
I call BS.
So he's been incredible this season, and he's pitching in the PCL, which he's not. He was not a prospect coming in, but he has a strikeout rate of 25%, which is above average, and a walk rate of 4.7%. He's keeping the ball on the ground at 43%, and this is like an elite hitters league. Like, we always say, take PCL stats with a grain of salt. Like, the offense is way overinflated.
Yes.
So the fact that he has a 25% strikeouts when half the ballparks are at high altitude, and his ERA is 3.13. Like, I'm not ever gonna. Actually, that was Corbin. 2.55 ERA in the
255,
PCL. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about the guy. Like I said, he wasn't a prospect coming into this, but has clearly taken a step forward. I don't know anything about his pitch mix. I don't know how hard he throws. I'm trying to look up his. Looks like the fastball is 91 to 92. He's been averaging 91. Like, he's a soft tossing lefty, but he's racked up above average strikeouts in a really tough league to do it, and he's limited damage as well. And it's not like it's been lucky. His home run to fly ball rate is 16%. That is a really, really high. So there's no luck involved in the numbers here. I wish he was 6K again. Like, I feel like everyone below Holmes is a little bit overpriced on this slate. And maybe it's just because there's not any great options outside of the top three. But if Gordon was 6K, I would fully be in. I think I will have some at 7K here. Kansas City has also been atrocious against lefties.
Awful. Fastball slider, as you mentioned, like 30% slider usage, 10% changeup, 10% curveball, all junk. He's just throwing junk from the left side, dude. Just pure junk. 91 mile an hour fastball. Jesus. I mean, good for him for making it this far, and also for looking 40, and you're 26.
I will say, I don't think Corbin or Tyon is much above that 91 at this point.
No, you're right. No, you're right. For sure. No, for sure. I mean, I like the matchup for Corbin is better, but not by much. And that might just be my differentiation between playing Corbin and Colton Gordon. Like, Casey and Colorado don't rank too far apart. I know I should say that because Colorado just has a 60 WRC plus, but Casey's a bottom feeding lefty hitting team too. So
63 WRC plus for KC. So it's,
I mean, dude, like, wouldn't you just take the discount on like basically the same pitcher?
I will say the strikeouts is where the gap is. 28% for Colorado, 22% for Kansas City. So that's why you say the Colorado matchup is significantly better, because the strikeout upside is significantly better. And we have no idea if Colton Gordon's strikeout stuff in AAA is going to translate. Like, that's always hit or miss. Even with elite prospects, that's hit or miss.
The rest of pitcher, I liked kind of what we saw from Ryan Weathers last year, but like, he's making his debut against the Cubs. That's not a fun proposition for pitching debuts, season debuts. Davis Martin has been like amongst a long list of White Sox pitchers that has been better than I think anticipated, but has to pitch in Great American. That's not great. Although, literally just got an update that TJ Friedl left. So could they be Friedl-less in this game? Possibly. Is there anything down here that like you'd even consider below Gordon? I didn't mention Bailey Falter, but he's
it's we're falling off in a hurry here, and we weren't that strong to begin with. So we're down to the bottom of the barrel for sure. I just can't click Davis Martin, I don't think. Weathers is the most intriguing one, like you said, just because he did take a step forward last season, but he gets the tough matchup. If we get 15 mile an hour winds blowing in or something, maybe I have some interest. But I don't have any idea what his rehab has looked like to this point either. But his velocity took a step forward last season. He was up to 96.
57 pitches
in his last rehab
57 pitches was.
I don't think there's enough leash here. And then you add in the really tough matchup, and it's way too risky, I think. Give me Gordon over any of these guys.
Yep, Gordon is the lowest we'd go. Let's go to catcher because I just want to go look at those names again. Oh yeah, Hendricks, Vasquez, Senzatella. Oh yeah, just want to look at those again real quick. Catcher, Carson Kelly, still 5,300. Has come back to earth, obviously, but he's been great. Will Smith is great. Sean Murphy gets a great matchup. Jonah Heim gets Antonio Senzatella. Stevenson, Ramirez, Goodman, What stands out 4K and up?
Yeah, Murphy's the one that kind of jumps off the page against the lefty. He has really come back
Agreed.
and had a strong season. Good to see him rebound from that tough injury-filled year last season. Jonah Heim is fine because he gets Senzatella. I prefer him against a lefty, but in this matchup, if he's in the middle of the order, I'd be okay with paying for that. Ramirez is all right, depending on Wrigley Wind. Obviously, we don't know for sure what that's going to look like at this point. But those are the names that stand out to me.
Vegas usually has a pretty good idea, right?
Yeah.
Like night before.
Yeah. So what I would say with Tyon versus who's pitching Weathers, I think the total should probably be just rough guess 8.5 if there was neutral wind.
It's 8.
Yeah. So maybe slight wind in.
Cubs minus 205 over under sitting at 8.
That's too heavy for Tyon, I think.
I think that's
although Weathers is not going to go 5 or 6 probably. If he's limited,
that's more bullpen.
Not that the Cubs bullpen is any good either, but the Marlins bullpen has been especially bad.
Hey, dude, Ryan Presley just got out of bases loaded jam. He's back. He's so back. Under $4,000 we go. Francisco Alvarez gets a lefty. Logan O'Hoppe gets Randy Vasquez, who actually gave up some home runs the other day, even though it was Coors, but he did give up home runs. That was the Tolia McMahon 1-2 punch with home runs there. We have Cuero 35 in a good ballpark. Yanier Diaz 34. Do we have anything? I mean, that's actually a pretty good range, right? From like Alvarez to Baldwin. No, Baldwin lefty. Alvarez to like Diaz.
Yeah, there's not a name there that I would tell you not to play. Even Trevino, like you prefer him against a lefty too, but he gets Davis Martin, who like he's been better, but he's still not good. Alvarez against the lefty stands out, and O'Hoppe against Vasquez, who just isn't going to miss any bats. So O'Hoppe's going to put it in play for 3 times against Vasquez, more than likely. That sounds pretty good. Caro is a very good prospect against Lodolo, who we're not quite sold on. And then Diaz has the split advantage. You talked about Lorenzen being reverse split, so Diaz has the good side as well.
Dude, they're gonna hit. Are they gonna hit 9 righties? If Caratini's not in the lineup, they might hit 9 righties.
Yeah.
Who do they have other than Caratini that's a lefty? I don't think that player exists, right? Jordan's not healthy.
I'm trying to think. Is there they platoon in that? But who knows what the teams are weird with reverse splits. Sometimes they buy in and sometimes they don't. And I'm not sure exactly what the thought process is, but I don't know if they put a lefty platoon bat in there or not.
I don't know. You know, like I don't know. Maya 31 looks really good. Ballesteros, I doubt he'll be in the lineup lefty, but if he is,
I think he'll sit against the lefty. They'll go Kelly and Amaya.
Yep. And then for mean 2,600, probably something to consider. Just give me my 7 points and I'll move on.
Yep. I don't have anything else to add.
Let's go to first, where Shohei Ohtani one day will not be eligible there. Freddie Freeman will always be eligible there. Alonso gets Bailey Falter. That's your 5K and up range.
I mean, Alonso against the lefty. Hello. Like, the Mets are looking really good. I had a bunch of Mets on Tuesday, and Mitch Keller just, I don't know what got into him, but threw up 8 strikeouts against an elite offense. I don't think Bailey Falter's going to have that same success. Pete Alonso is one of my favorite hitters on the slate.
So what you're saying is Bailey will falter.
Nice.
Vlad Guerrero, 4,800. Lefty Michael Bush, probably not going to go there. He might not even be in. Maybe they play Justin Turner over Michael Bush. We have Olsen, lefty. Josh Smith. I don't know if Smith will be back with the low back, but if he's in the lineup, I love some Josh Smith. $4,600, first base shortstop. Luis Arraez, 45. Nathaniel Lowe, 43. Gavin Sheets, 42. What do you got for me, Keith? In the 4K range or nothing?
There's some names to like
and
there.
we don't have to play
Matt
anyone.
Olson is fine, lefty, has been solid throughout his career. Parker's not a big bat misser, so certainly can play Olson lefty. Nathaniel Lowe against Elder, who has wide splits, has really struggled with lefty power. Really stands out to me as well. Gavin Sheets against Kyle Hendricks, I have plenty of interest in, and that's the three that I'm looking at here.
Dude, Hendricks rostering against Kyle Hendricks has been one of the most unfun things in the world this year.
He's been a bit of a magician, and he's kind of been like that through, even when he was really good 10 years ago. He never had good stuff. The changeup has always been a great pitch for him, but he's never thrown harder than 90 miles an hour. The curveball gets him some outs, but it's not a dominant pitch by any means. So the fact that he is aged well is not surprising to me. He's always kind of been this guy.
Yeah, he has. Obviously, like, you just look at the numbers, not just like ERA, just like even like under the hood stuff doesn't look good. And he just, it's like Randy Vasquez.
Yeah, he manages contact in the right spots. Like he gets hit hard,
right?
But it's for whatever reason, it's never like it's never in a spot where it burns him.
Shout out to Kyle Hendricks. Jonathan Ronda.
Yes, please.
Too cheap. Just gonna say that one again. I don't know if you've seen the Rays stacks are paying off quite well. Shout out to Junior Caminero and his 9th inning grand slam that he hit this evening. But Aranda
homer too, I believe.
1 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs, a walk. Because why would he ever be $3,900? It doesn't make sense. So yes, please, Jonathan Aranda, 3,900. Christian Walker, 37. Steer, 36. Salvi, 35. Mervis, 34. Tolia, 33. Berger, 33. Pasquantino, they dropped him big time in the order against a lefty on the was it a lefty that started for Houston? Yeah, Framber. Dropped him way down the order on Monday or on Tuesday. What do you like in the 3K range here?
Yeah, Aranda is the one that clearly stands out to me. Bassett has had his struggles with lefties at times throughout his career and this year too. So while Bassett is a very good pitcher, lefties can get to him. So I'm there. Mervis has big time power. Tyon, not a huge strikeout pitcher, so I don't mind chasing a home run from Mervis there either. Sal Perez against the lefty is something that we've been doing for a very long time. Yeah, that's the names that stand out to me. Steer is fine in a red stack. I prefer him against a lefty, but he'd be all right.
Interesting that Salvi lost his catcher eligibility here.
Kind of stinks, but he's been DHing a lot more than he's been catching. So
I know, but like I feel
we'll go to the Ohtani thing again, aren't you?
No. Not going. We've been down that well too many times. Not going there again. Second base. There is nobody priced higher than Matt McLain at $4,500. Matt McLain's also been quite bad to very bad to borderline awful. But he has been running a lot. That's been his saving grace. So 4,500 for Matt McLain. We have Altuve. Albies in the best split, although talk about someone who's been borderline awful.
Yeah.
Or Alzi Albies. Maybe this is the split for him to get going. Michael Garcia, 43. Nico Horner, 41. Ahmed Rosario, 41. Jake Cronin with 4,000. That's your 4K range. What do we got? Sal
Perez has caught 19 games this year. He should have catcher eligibility.
That's what I'm saying.
I had to check because I was like, he's caught. Like, he's actually caught more than he's DH'd.
That's wrong.
He's played first 11 games.
See, like that just doesn't check out. Like he has both eligibility. He has both those eligibilities on every platform, right? ESPN, Yahoo, because ESPN you need the 10 games to qualify in seasonal. That should also be a qualification for positional eligibility in DFS. Like there should be some qualification. Obviously, you can't make someone a DH, but like there should be a qualification for positional eligibility.
Yeah, completely agree. Didn't mean to throw us off track there, but I had to look it up because I was like, I know he's caught plenty. Yeah, interesting. Second base. McLean just has not been good. He gets a great matchup. There's power there, and it's a great ballpark for home runs. So it's not like he's 5K. I guess 4,500 is all right. I would prefer Albies, even though he's been worse because he gets a lefty.
Yep.
Michael Garcia, I also would prefer as well, especially if he stays up near the top of the order. And Altuve is whatever.
Altuve is whatever.
He's definitely taken a step backwards, but he's also a player that used to be 5K and is now 4,400. So playable, but probably my fourth favorite of the top four.
Yeah, fourth favorite of the top four says a lot. I'm sure, like, just because it's Kyle Hendricks, I'm sure Jake Cronenworth will get unnecessarily high ownership, and I'll just not and play someone cheaper.
Yeah.
It's usually what happens with Jake Cronenworth. I usually just play someone cheaper. Cheaper, Luis Angel, lefty righty split. You get Semien at 34. We already see where this is going with the Rangers. 34 against. So this is actually a spot I would use Rangers because Sensitel is terrible. Semien 34, Brandon Lau 33. Beatty probably won't be in the lineup, lefty, but he did homer again. If he is in the lineup, that's obviously something to note. Massey lefty, and Rengifo wrong split. Ha-Seong Kim 2,300, righty lefty. What? Talk to me about value. Is there anything that like first glance stands out to you?
Brandon Lau against Chris Bassett. Like Bassett is vulnerable to lefties. Yes. Lau is cheap, like cheap. He's got strikeout problems. Don't get me wrong, but there's a ton of power there as well. Luis Angel is good as well, lefty righty. The Semien thing is fine. Like you said, this is a better matchup for him than it was on Tuesday. Senzatella is not going to miss bats. He's going to try to keep the ball on the ground, which he's not even that good at. So he's just a terrible pitcher. He's probably one of the worst starters in MLB. So the Rangers make more sense to me as well on Wednesday than they did Tuesday. Beatty's been on an absolute tear. I agree. You got to see the lineup there since he's lefty, but if he's in there, so if he's in there, then I guess Luis Angel would not be, right? Because Vientos is almost certainly starting at third.
Yeah. I guess McNeil, but they can use McNeil in the outfield.
And Acuna.
Yeah, Vientos definitely in the lineup. So you're probably right where Beatty is probably the odd man out, but maybe they just start playing the guy who's hitting home all these home runs. He's hit 5 home runs in 7 games, right? With the home run on the
like you say, he's on an absolute tear. And Acuna has been fine. He hasn't been a world beater or anything. The power hasn't shown up at all.
No, the speed. That's the only thing that he's really displayed. A lot of it. He is. If he gets on, he's going. But we'll see. I do think the Mets again, second baseman makes sense. I like the Semien shout. The only thing that Brandon Lau can do is like hit home runs. So I assume that if he gets a hold, like that's the condition. Like he fits perfectly in tournaments. I do like Ha-Seong Kim. He also first got called up and just started to run a little bit. Obviously came over. They said he was going to play all these positions. And then he was like, didn't even make the team out of spring. They wanted him to get acclimated. And he's been pretty good. He's not obviously playing a lot, but he's been pretty good since getting called up.
Yeah, I don't hate it as a punt. I do think Hoagland is a good pitcher, and he's had success through his first couple. But when you're chasing stolen bases a little bit, I don't think matchup is as important. Right. If he can get on and he gets you that one stolen base, like that's enough to pay off 20.
Yeah, because I like if I'm not like playing Ha-Seong Kim for anything other than like single stolen base run scored, right? Or like,
yeah, I mean that's the nut outcome right there. You just need him to get on base one time, steal a base and score a run, and then
it's a win. Yeah, I mean that's how you win a tournament with a $2,300 pump, right? Like Shohei hits him in, and then you don't need him to do a single thing the rest of the night. I mean, you'd like it, but like you don't. So I'd throw him out there for a punt option. Anything else you want to go to third?
I don't think anything's going to be as strong as Kim, so let's move
Just
on.
a note, we had commented on Josh Smith, or I had commented on Josh Smith. He did just pinch hit for the Rangers, so looks like the lower back is good, and he'll most likely be in the lineup against Senzatella, which is good for us and good for the chalky Rangers, because the writing's on the wall again. Third base, Manny Machado, 54, continues to absolutely rake. Austin Riley gets a great matchup. He also is like absolutely raking. We talked Michael Yoan Moncada, really good split side against Randy Vasquez. It's unfortunate that they don't have any more of those guys, but 4,200 for the Angels 3-hitter. Junior Caminero, 4K. A lot to like there in that tier.
Yeah, particularly Riley. Love playing him against a lefty. Machado is playable in any matchup. You get to Kyle Hendricks, who isn't going to miss any bats, so can certainly play that power. Moncada has been pretty good. Like, good for him. He kind of fell off there for a couple years. Anybody playing for the White Sox, that's understandable.
Yes.
So good to see him get a nice change of scenery there. I'm not playing Caminero in this spot against Bassett, I don't think. I want lefties. I love Caminero. He's an awesome player, obviously. Going to hit for a ton of power, but I don't think this is a spot. Josh Young finally got the homer. It's been a while. We've been chasing it for a while. I unfortunately jumped off on Tuesday, and he popped one out in his first at bat.
He's the only Ranger that did anything. He's the only one that did anything.
Yeah. You were right overall, mostly. I mean, the stack did not work out. But Josh Young definitely did.
I'm definitely not the only one to say that. But, like, I think, again, the context matters. Like, Kyle Freeland, we both said the same thing. Kyle Freeland underlying stats looked way better than his surface level stuff.
He's got a little Kyle Hendricks in him where he just seems to find a way out of it, and he manages contact and, like, just doesn't ever get blown up. So it's a hard pitcher to stack against. Like, the control is good. Yeah, I mean, it is.
He allowed 3 hits to the first 3 batters of the game, and they have 6 hits in the top of the 8th inning right now. So by my math, that's 3 for the rest of the other 6 innings that Kyle Hendricks pitched. So, or now I got him. Now I'm calling him Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Freeland. Yeah. Kyle squared. Yeah. Kyle squared. But yeah, I mean, the only thing with Young is that he does not get the lefty. That has clearly been like the money spot for him. But we'll see. 3,900 is a good price. I want to get I haven't had a chance to talk, I think, Connor Norby to anyone other than John, and John's probably sick of me talking Connor Norby to him. I had a huge game against your Cubs on Tuesday. I really like the player. The player has obviously, he strikes out a lot. Okay, that happens. Dude has a lot of power and a lot of speed. Any thoughts on using him against Tyon, who is susceptible to home runs?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. I will always play high strikeout, high power hitters, especially when they are against low strikeout pitchers. And I would consider Tyon to be that at this point in his career. So that's exactly the profile that I'm looking for in a tournament. Like, I feel like that profile, it's a lot easier to see the upside in that than one of the, like, a punt second baseman who you need to get on base and steal a base. That we were just tied for, get even the name.
Kim.
Yeah, Kim. Like, give me the guy that can hit a home run where I know I'm golden if that event happens. And as you said, Tyon is susceptible to the home run. So unless we have massive winds blowing in, I am completely fine with that. We mentioned Vientos as well. He's right there in the same range. He's the one that really stands out for me. Really slow start to the season, has been much better of late. Big time power guy as well.
Yeah. He looked like Aaron Judge against lefties last year. He looked like Aaron Judge against lefties, just specifically lefties last year. But and I know Falter's coming off a really good start, but 3,500 for Vientos. He's probably, just first glance, if I had to guess, the highest rostered third baseman of the day.
Yeah, Riley will be up there, but he's significantly more expensive.
Riley and Young because he gets Senzatella and like Vientos, and that's like your whole list of like high owned third baseman.
Yep. Yep.
I can't wait till my sweet prince gets recalled. I am like super heavily invested in Matt Shaw everywhere, so like I needed to come back. Looking forward to it, Matt. When you
The Cubs do too. Man, third base has been a black hole since he got sent down. Not that he was doing much, but geez, it's been brutal.
Well, when John Birdie,
Nicky Lopez, and
John
John
Birdie and
Birdie,
Nicky
yes,
Lopez,
gross.
it's quite the duo. Barger thoughts?
Stackhouse stuff looks really good on him. So pretty solid prospect. It's kind of taken him a little longer to arrive. He was a part of a big trade a couple years back, but he looks like he's here now. He's hitting the ball really hard.
Okay. 2,700 third baseman. I like it. Let's go to shortstop, where we get to just say first names: Bobby, Mookie, Ellie, Frankie. I'll go CJ. I'll even go Zach. Nato led off Tuesday with a home run. CJ Abrams led off Tuesday with a home run. Both off two of our three favorite pitchers of the day. Good stuff, guys. Appreciate it. Shortstop is loaded at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot say a bad word about any of the top four. Breaking down matchups, I would probably rank it Frankie, Ellie, Bobby, and Mookie.
I love that you're on this. I love that you're on this bandwagon. On this bandwagon.
There's just, we're talking about four amazing hitters, four amazing fantasy players. Like all of them run as well. Mookie not as much anymore, but all of them run. All of them have big power. Like these are the elite of the elite right here. Those four.
Yeah, and then like you have like if you're into Pokemon, that's like Charizard tier. And then we have like the Charmeleon tier right here with Abrams, Neto, and Dansby Swanson. Like those are all like really good baseball players. And then you have like down here, you got the Charmander. Am I aging? Were you a Pokemon guy?
Not at all. I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
You're commenting and you're like, what is this weird person talking about? Okay, all good, no problem.
I think it just missed me. I'm just a little bit too old for that, where I was beyond the age. Right when it got really popular.
Okay. Well,
maybe I'm aging myself.
Okay. Now. Well, anyways, now that I'm not going to try to go for another comp. That was all I got. I had one in the chamber, and I blew it. But
hey, I'm sure it hit home with a lot of people, and I understand what you meant by it. So
that's
we're
all
good
that
to
matters. Go. Appreciate you, Pokemon fan out there. Well, the next tier is super solid. Abrams, Nato, Smith, and Swanson. You can play any of them. They all look great. Can't say a bad thing about any of them. Zach Nato hitting against righties and lefties this year has been a revelation because he's been average against righties and elite against lefties. But again, homered, led off the game against Dylan Cease. Has hit a home run. And did he lead off against King and hit a home run too? No, second at bat he hit a home run against King. It's like back-to-back games. Dylan Cease, Michael King, he's homered off. Both elite right-handed pitchers. Like that's what you want as evolution, right? Like talk about an evolution of a hitter.
Zach Neto, good at
very
baseball.
good. Yeah, very good.
A guy who was really pushed to the majors. He barely hit in the minors at all. Not that he didn't hit, just didn't have many plate appearances in the minors before the Angels rushed him to the majors because they were just trying to throw anything they could around Trout and Ohtani. But I feel like he's going to continue to develop, and we're seeing that.
He is quite good. Quite good.
Very good.
Sub 4K. Jeremy Pena, 39. Bo Bichette homered again. Third home run of the year on Tuesday. Also Pena homered on Tuesday. Both those guys sub 4K. I don't think there's another shortstop I would even consider because I hate playing anyone else that takes away from like any of these top names.
Yeah, the opportunity cost is as big at shortstop as it is at any other position. So not the position to punt for me. You want to get up to those top guys, even if you have to settle in the 4K range. I'm fine with that. There's plenty of upside there. But like Bo Bichette's probably as low as I would go, just because he has the similar upside. Where like, and he's a guy that has a lot of talent and has really struggled. All the rest of these guys are more like true punts, and I don't think it's a position you want to punt like second base as you could do that at second. I don't think you want to do that at short.
No, let's not waste our time there. Outfield, where we will not be wasting any time. Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Tucker, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis. Merrill actually now more expensive than Fernando Tatis. His first at bat on Tuesday was 110 off the bat, 395. It was an out, but that was probably the first out Jackson Merrill has recorded since he's returned from injury. And it was 110 miles an hour off the bat. So, I mean, even his outs are better than everyone else's outs. No wrong answers there. We still have no idea if when O'Neal Cruz will return, but he did not play for the third consecutive game on Tuesday. Seiya's 55, hits lefties really hard. Langford hits everybody. Soto hits everybody. Rooker, tough spot, but he hits everybody. PCA leadoff. Again, another slate where there's a lot to like about the 5K and up range.
Yeah, absolutely. The 6K range in particular is loaded. Yeah, Tucker lefty is like, I hope he's low owned because he still mashes against lefties. Suzuki, right behind him in the order there, has absolutely crushed lefties as well. So love the Cubs again, even though it's like Weather's first start. Who knows what he's going to look like?
Right.
Was a pitcher we picked on a couple years ago, looked pretty good last year. So we'll see what he looks like his first start of the year. Langford is fine in any matchup. Soto's fine in any matchup. PCA lefty. We'll see if they hit him leadoff. I think they probably will, but being lefty, they might change things up. The argument for them to continue to hit leadoff is there's really no one else.
Dansby?
With Happ on the IL.
Would it be Dansby?
Maybe that would be the name. And Dansby's been awesome against lefties, so maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see what that looks like for sure.
You had mentioned,
but
James,
I was just the 5K price is tougher to get to lefty with PCA. He's been awesome, and obviously as a Cubs fan, I love everything that's been going on there with the power development. But lefty 5K is a tough ask.
Yeah, and right below him for $100 less, you had talked about the Bryce Elder struggles against lefties. This is a large lefty in James Wood.
Large lefty with big time power. Yeah.
This is I like this. The Abrams Wood combo, even mini stack, and I know you had talked about Nathaniel Lowe at first base, which is a nice cheap play as well. Yep. The top of that order looks really good if Bryce Elder reverts back to being Bryce Elder. So
yeah,
James Wood 49 looks pretty good.
I agree. I am not a Bryce Elder believer, especially these Nationals lefties look outstanding to me too.
Going down the outfield list, we have Austin Hayes, fresh off the IL, Lawrence Butler and Soderstrom, but they get the Yamamoto spot, not our favorite to target. Stowers hit another home run on the Tuesday slate. He is a powerful dude. A lot of really good things on his StatCast page. Like everything is red, just pure red.
109 mile an hour home run off Ben Brown on Tuesday night. That was a rocket.
I mean, dude, he has been legit good, like legit power. And let's not forget that Trevor Rogers was all it took to get Stowers, Norby.
What, man, at the time of that trade, everyone said Baltimore got fleeced, and it's with Trevor Rogers not even active, it looks real bad for Baltimore. I know they were dying for starting pitching, and they still are, but
no, don't give them that. Don't give them that even like that is an awful, like, you can't, like, the argument of like, oh, they have all these assets to trade. Well, like, Look at your assets.
That doesn't mean you should give them
and
away.
Look at the ones you kept. None of them are doing anything. Gunner. So you hit on one. Holiday, obviously, jury's still out, and Kerstad, but like,
I mean, the jury's still out on all of them. They're all under 25.
You know who the jury's not out on?
Things
you know who the
change.
jury's not out on? Trevor Rogers. We know what Trevor Rogers is. Stowers 44. Luis Robert does look semi-interested in baseball again. At least again, like if he gets on, he is going. He is all gas, no brakes when he gets to first base. Stolen bases left and right for Luis Robert. Ozuna gets a lefty. That's real. Oh,
the price went down. We were talking about how cheap he was on Tuesday night, and the price went down $200. What are we doing here?
Braves are going to be popular. Yep.
Yeah.
Mitchell Parker regression in the midst of regression for Mitchell Parker. It's going to be Atlanta. It's going to be warm. Yeah, that's going to be something. I think. Do we see a weather icon? No. Ooh. Usually Atlanta, like the summers around Atlanta, are always something to watch because it just always rains in the South. So, but all systems go for Marcell Ozuna at 43. That's super elite. Springer 43, Adolis 43 in the righty split. That's good. You have Friedel, who again did leave the Tuesday slate, so we'll see, or their game. They were on the early slate. Nimmo lefty, Pages 42, Varsho. Don't Varsho do nothing but hitting home runs and striking out. He's having a good time. He's in there for a good time, not a long time. What do we like? I mean, there's a lot to like in the 4K range. Evan Carter is 4K. Santander is homering again. Like there is a lot to like here.
There is. Rangers and Blue Jays, especially that you just mentioned there. I was absolutely out on Adolis Garcia on Tuesday night. He's one of my favorite hitters on the slate on Wednesday night because Senzatella is not striking him out. And he has massive power. He's been much stronger in the right-handed split. Yeah, Adolis at 4,300, I like just as much or close to as much as Ozuna. Like that really stands out to me. Love the Varsho shout. Lefties against Pepio in particular have had success with the power. Throw Santander in there as well. Pepio, just formerly elite prospect, hasn't quite figured it out, has been unable to miss bats. So those Blue Jays look really good.
Yeah, dude, Varsho hit 2 more on Tuesday. He has 5 home runs in 10 games so far. He's also struck out a boatload of times, but if he's not striking out, he's homering. And yeah, I think we probably see, I'd assume we see Evan Carter lead off again, and maybe they move Smith back down. They move Smith down. We'll see, but Carter's looked really good since his call up. And let's not forget, Evan Carter, World Series hero in 2023, went into 24 as like the 3rd ranked prospect in all of baseball.
Yep.
I'm not saying
elite plate skills, like obviously took a step backwards last season and ended up getting demoted, but he's back now.
Looks good, dude.
The pedigree is there.
Looks good. Power, speed, super toolsy player, right? If he's leading off at 4K against Antonio Senzatella, he might pay it off in his first at bat. Single, stolen base, run scored like that. And so is it. And Senzatella, hits allowed has been John's favorite bet in the world. He bets it every slate. He has bet it every slate this year. It was like 8+ last or 7+, and he bet it. It was like second inning, 7+. Evan Carter's a guy that could just, again, single, stolen base, run scored, boom, 10 fantasy points, or right, 10? Yeah, 10 fantasy points, and you're there already. So love him at 4K too. Dipping below $4,000, we have Jordan Beck gets the Corbin matchup. Gavin Lux, I didn't mean to skip over Gavin Lux and Michael Harris, but they're there as well. Brian Reynolds, tough spot. Verdugo, lefty, although I think they did lead him off lefty the other day as well.
He did, yeah.
Blade, tough spot. Meisner, Reese Hines, Brenton Doyle. Anything stand out to you?
Not loving this range. Yeah, I mean, the two Braves are lefty-lefty, so
Yeah.
I'm not real interested in that. Lux is fine, but just there's not enough power there.
Eli White.
Um,
Eli White's been a pretty good player for the Braves this year. If
yeah,
you need cheap Braves exposure. He's actually been like good.
yeah, I don't mind
Yeah,
that.
he's been good for them.
And then if especially if he's hitting ninth, and you can wrap it around to the top and get. Hopefully Verdugo's not in there again, but if like Albies and Riley are up there where you could do the wraparound, I really like that.
I kind of like some names in this next range. Jesus Sanchez, 35 power. Dylan Cruz, I've talked about this with John a couple times, has had terrible luck this year. I understand that he strikes out a lot. There's a lot of underlying stuff that Dylan Cruz has just been unlucky with. He's also super toolsy. Another was like number one prospect.
Speaking of elite
Yeah, number
prospects,
one
yeah.
prospect in baseball before his call up last year. And like despite sub Mendoza line stuff, 5 bombs and 10 stolen bases in 39 games, like just goes to show you if there's more bad ball luck on his side. Like we're talking about a really legit player. In a pretty good spot against Bryce Elder, who's just subpar pitcher, right? So I think Cruz is
Yeah.
interesting. Chandler Simpson, just fastest man on the planet. Interesting, like single. I don't. Did you see the clip of Chandler Simpson single up the middle turned into a double?
Yes, he is
Incredibly
incredible.
fast. Maybe we'll never hit a home run out of the park. His swing path is not one to ever hit it out, but 3,400.
It doesn't matter when you can run 35
It's
miles
true.
an hour.
It's
That
true.
doesn't
It's
matter.
so it's so true. It's so true. Derek Hill has looked really good in this like limited sample with the Cub in this Cub series. Just big power dude. Obviously, like super low floor, but big power guy. Starling Marte will be in the lineup, $3,200. Will Benson will be in the lineup. He's back, and Friedel left. He stole a base on Tuesday. Like, there's just some names that I would like give some love to.
Yeah, Jesus Sanchez, another one. Tyon has that home run
Yep.
problem. The lefties got him. He had been good against lefties up until his last start. Beatty got him. I think Jeff McNeil got him. A couple Mets lefties got him his last start. So Jesus Sanchez looks pretty good in this.
Yeah, 3,500 for Jesus Sanchez. The power will come. The power will come.
Yeah.
Obligatory Cam Smith shout. That's what we do. We just have to shout Cam Smith. Miles Straw is playing baseball, and he's actually doing it kind of good. I don't think we need anything else. Is there anything else that we? No.
Now, did you mention Soler against
No, he can play Soler.
with the low strikeouts of Vasquez? Like we love playing Soler against lefties. He gets a righty this time, but again, another huge power guy with strikeout problems, facing a guy who can't strike anyone out. So I don't mind chasing home runs from Soler.
Dude, he went into that Rocky start last time. Randy Vasquez did, and he struck out lefties at a 2.5% clip.
I'm confident in saying that I could strike out 2% of lefties.
How is that possible?
Like 2% is you have to be trying.
I would like you to know, as a Cubs fan, Javi Baez just hit a walk-off 3-run home run. Second of the game.
I told you he's back.
Second
man.
of the game, by the way.
Dude, he has not slowed down since you were
I
crapping on him that day.
I declined to trade for him today in fantasy, in a seasonal fantasy league, and I told the owner that I do not believe in Javi Baez, but he did just hit a walk-off home run, which I just cannot believe this is happening in the year 2025. I'm not trying to be a vibes hater because I know Javi has great vibes, but yeah, and you know what?
And definitely a special place in all Cubs fans' hearts.
And he beat the Red Sox, so now a special place in my heart because he just helped the Yankees a little bit more on this day. Let's get a lineup built and get out of here. Example lineup for all the folks at home. Clay Holmes is where we're starting. I think you and I both were just like, get Clay Holmes. And then I guess it just depends. Do we want to double spend? Do we want to go test the Gordon? Test Gordon. I don't even remember his first name. Colton? Yeah, Colton Gordon.
Colton. Yep.
Yeah. We could double spend with Yamamoto, and that takes us off a lot of the bats. Like, what are you feeling here?
There are a couple of offenses that are cheap that I do like that we could make the Yamamoto Holmes pairing work. I think I feel pretty good about Tyon because of the matchup. I don't know that I feel that much more confident about his upside as Colton Gordon. If you just want to go Colton Gordon and get some really nice bats in there, we can do that.
Let's just go.
So Yamamoto or Gordon are my official answer.
Let's go Yamamoto, because I don't disagree at all on the Tyon point. I just simply feel better, I think, with this, and I agree on your. The Rangers are the most obvious answer here, right? Like, to get cheap exposure places like Semien. I don't know if you saw Josh Young hit a second home run. So he
Nice.
of course, naturally he has two. Like Semien is. I mean, their whole team is super cheap. Semien's cheap. Langford, Adolis is cheap. Carter is cheap. The catchers are cheap. Jock is gonna. We know Jock is gonna play $2,800 at first. Like, is Texas where we want to go? Like, what? We'll take a step back. Where do you want to start with this? Vientos.
So, yeah, I really like the Mets. Okay. There was one other one that I really liked. That was Washington was the other one I really like.
Nathaniel at 43.
Yeah.
Second base was a good spend down position for us. Brandon Lau, 33. We had the Mets guys, both lefty. Well, Luis not, but the other two.
Acuna. I think Acuna will be in there if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's play Acuna. I was trying to find. We're probably going to have to punt, which I don't care.
Cubs walk off.
Just
not a home run, but
Justin Turner.
They came back and won it. Yep.
Helps nobody.
They scored a couple of runs there in the ninth. I didn't see exactly what was happening.
Literally nobody that helped anybody. Yeah, don't even worry about it. Did not help anybody. Definitely a bummer, but it's okay. Not a bummer for you because you're a Cubs fan, so it's good for you. Terrible for DFS.
Bad for my
wallet. Yeah, good for your heart, bad for your wallet.
There you go. That's the saying.
I have a really hard time not going like either Wood, Ozuna, or like Adolis, Ozuna, or Wood, Adolis. Like, the combination of those players are just.
I agree. Deep. Both live for 2 home runs.
Do we want to play Adolis, Ozuna, Wood? I like all these guys, dude.
I am with you on loving all three and having a hard time picking my favorites. I would say Ozuna is first there.
Locked. Yep, agreed.
Yeah, I like Adolis a lot. And if we're going to go other Rangers, then I definitely think that makes sense. If we're going to try to stick with more Mets or even add some Atlanta in here, then maybe not. So
I don't know how we're going to get to some of them.
Yeah, Lindor's kind of out of reach at this if we're going double spend.
Yeah, I mean, looking at things,
we could go Alonso instead of Lowe and not have to give up too much salary there, and then we could kind of go cheaper with although I was going to say Dylan Cruz, but we just kind of eliminated our Washington
our Washington's dead. Our Washington's is completely dead. How do we I almost want to just plug Fermin or like a Stallings. I don't necessarily care about the correlation at catcher if we're just punting it.
Yeah, I agree.
or just getting someone like super cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, Stalling, he's been so terrible. Fermin has probably been the best guy in this tier, and he hasn't even been really great.
Let's instead of going Acuna at second, if you go Kim and use that as our punt position instead.
Ooh, yes. That's a good one. Okay, Kim at
that gives us a little to work with.
Does give us a little to work with. And we could go Alvarez at 37, or we could still just stick with like a punt. The Mets are hard to get to anyone.
Going to catch for the Braves because it's not going to be Sean Murphy, obviously.
It's Sean Murphy. Yeah,
I was thinking Baldwin was in there yesterday, but yeah, it's going to be Sean Murphy, who I love, but we probably don't have enough money for.
Yeah, and if we're spending up on 45, buddy, I got to tell you, it ain't going to be on Sean Murphy.
True, with the loaded outfield range at 4,500,
and short, like the 4,000 and up shortstop, like that would be a tough sell for me.
I think we do need to get to Lindor here.
Okay,
which might take us back off Alonso.
It might also we could also just get taken off Yamamoto and get back to,
I mean, that's kind of what that would be my preference, I think.
If we went to Gordon, we have $4,200 that would allow us to do basically anything we wanted.
Yeah, I don't love the strikeout matchup for Yamamoto. Not that he can't strike out 10 because he's awesome, but I feel like this is the more comfortable build today.
Alvarez to complete a Met stack, and then it gets us 45, and then
there's an awesome range of outfielders there. Adolis was there. Wood is somewhere close to that, 49.
Yeah, if we go Adolis, we just miss out on Wood. But
Stowers is strong in that range.
Yeah, dude, we're just one-offing, just like play Met stack with
with power bats around it.
With just power bats around it, right?
Yeah, love that.
I mean, I don't hate that.
I think Taillon's going to be kind of popular too, just because he's got the Marlins.
He's for sure. I mean, we've seen
the other option is Patrick Corbin in that range.
I think I'm going to stay. I think we're stay here. I think for the audio listeners, Clay Holmes, Colton Gordon, I almost forgot his name again. Francisco Alvarez, Pete Alonso, Ha-Seong Kim, Mark Vientos, Francisco Lindor, Marcelo Zuna, Adolis Garcia, Kyle Stowers. $300 left over with a Met stack and just bunch of one-off power and Kim as our punty second baseman, which again, if he's in the lineup and steals a base, it's a big old win. Big shout out to you, Keith, for filling in on the show, and big shout out to John and his wife. Happy anniversary to you guys!
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats! Happy anniversary! For anyone in the comment section that did watch Pokemon, send Keith a bunch of your favorite Pokemon of all time. He'll read all the comments and start doing all his research on what he needs to become a Pokemon master, because that's what happens. You become a Pokemon master. But until next time, everybody, we'll catch you later. Peace.